how to read practical books. These are books that teach you how to do something or how to live better. They're basically life advice or technical knowledge. They can be anything from cooking to gardening, meditation to productivity, fitness, finance, anything that applies to the practical know-how of life. And these are different from other books such as fiction, history, philosophy, or science because they're not really meant to entertain or inform or persuade, but to instruct you. They're a how-to, right? A manual for life itself. Reading these practical books requires a different approach than reading other books. You can't just read them passively and expect to learn something. You have to actively engage with them and apply their ideas. And it's this process of application that becomes the key to reading a practical book. And it pans out, hopefully, in practice, repetition, and then the gaining of new skills. Here are some special rules and questions for reading practical books that'll help you get the most out of them. First off, you have to identify the problem and the solution. So you need to know when reading a practical book what the problem is that the book is trying to solve and how it's offering a solution. So for example, if you don't know how to swim, a book might be giving you tips and techniques specifically on how to learn to swim as an adult or possibly a college student. If you're reading a book on how to write better, the problem might be that you want to improve your writing skills, and the solution might be a set of principles and techniques for effectively and consistently writing. 2, understand how it works. The next thing you need to do is understand how the solution to your problem works, the literal how, the steps. This means learning the theory behind the practice, the logic behind the method, and the evidence behind the author's claim. You need to know not only what to do, but why and how to do it. In other words, what your motivations are, and then what the processes are. So for example, if you're reading a book on how to meditate, you need to know not only how to sit and breathe, but why meditation is beneficial in the first place, because otherwise you won't have any follow through, and how this affects your mind and body, and in other words, so you need to learn not only the basics like how to sit and breathe when you're trying to practice meditation, but why meditation is going to benefit you and how it's going to benefit you. This is going to motivate you extrinsically and keep you reading the book and also practicing and applying the lessons there within. 3rd, apply the book to your situation. The lessons need to become real and tangible. The last thing you need to do is apply the solution to your own situation, this being your specific problem or issue on which you are trying to learn and gain a new skill. This means adapting the general advice to your own specifics, your goals, and your personal circumstances. It also usually is going to involve experimenting with the ideas and skills, dropping the bits and pieces that aren't necessary or helpful to you, and maybe emphasizing certain areas or aspects that will benefit your own areas of strength or weaknesses, as the case may be. And you're going to do this by testing out all of the advice in real life and tracking and evaluating your results. If you don't write it down, there's no point in reading these practical books. And I mean, whatever, use a voice memo, type it up. You don't have to physically write it with a pen and paper unless you're practicing cursive writing. For example, if you're reading a book on how to manage your money, you need to not only follow the budgeting tips, but also to track your income and expenses. You need to adjust your spending habits accordingly based on the advice and the results you're seeing, and to actually measure your financial progress. No one got rich quick just by reading the How to Get Rich Quick book. You actually have to change your financial habits. So to help you read practical books more effectively, I'm going to give you a couple exercises and basically discipline that you can try for yourself. So if you're reading a book on how to cook, try making one of the recipes in the book and see how it turns out. Now, compare your results both with the pictures and the instructions of the book, but really focus on a pro-con aspect. What did you do well? What have you succeeded in? Does it look aesthetically the way it should? Does it taste the way it should, etc.? Now, flip over to the con side. What did you do wrong? Where did you miss? These are the areas that you're going to be able to improve on, hopefully with new techniques in the book or with new learning from a different source text. If you're reading a book on how to learn a language, try using one of the strategies or tools and seeing how it works for you. For example, if it's suggesting to use flashcards or an algorithmic program like Anki, that's A-N-K-I, it's an acronym, check it out. Make some flashcards with words or phrases from the language you're learning, or download a deck on Anki and review these regularly. So Anki's going to put data and an algorithm behind this review and really make it strategic. But how much do you remember and how fast did you learn? So this is the thing. It's got to be a SMART goal. It's got to be measurable. It's got to be timed. If you're reading a book on how to be happier, can't even say the word happy. If you're reading a book on how to be happier, try implementing one of the habits or practices in the book and seeing how it affects your mood. Again, you're gonna have to journal, daily or hourly or whenever it strikes you, but at least consistently, so you know if your moods are actually changing over a long period of time. Have it become James Cleary or whatever his name is, the Atomic Habit guy. In his book, it says something like 3 weeks or 21 days for a habit to become a practice, a regular thing. For example, if the book recommends expressing gratitude, write down the things you're grateful for every day and notice how you feel. Do you feel more positive, more satisfied, more optimistic? Maybe not. And if you don't, that's fine too, but you need to then assess whether there's something you can tweak to actually take the learning in, or if you're going to move on from that book. Because there is a lot of crap out there, especially in the self-help section, right? I mean, you have to be aware that, pyramid schemes and snake oil salespeople are real. Don't fall for the next NFT. Okay, comment below if you like this one. The next one is how to read imaginative literature.